Welcome back, everybody, and today we're taking a look at another film in the Universal Horror Monsters and Curiosities box set from Umbrella Entertainment, and it is 1945's The Jungle Captive. So this is the final film on the current disc that we are looking at, and it is directed by Harold Young, who did The Mummy's Tomb, which is actually one of the better sequels in the original Mummy series, as well as The Frozen Ghost, which is one of the Inner Sanctum films. Now, that's probably my least favourite of the six of those films. Now, thankfully, this film that we're looking at today is actually comes in somewhere between the two of them. And yeah, it's again a horror film clocking in at 63 minutes long. Stars the likes of Otto Kruger, who was also in the likes of Dracula's Daughter and The Colossus of New York. And you've also got Rondo Hatton, who was in House of Horrors, The Brute Man, and The Pearl of Death, which was one of the Sherlock Holmes films from the 1940s to star Basil Rathbone. And finally, you got Vicky Lane, who I've not seen anything else from before, but she does play Paula Dupree, the Ape Woman, and she replaces Aquanata, who was in the previous two films in this loosely put together trilogy. So yeah, once again, Paula the Ape Woman is brought back to life, this time by a mad doctor and his disfigured assistant, who also kidnaps a nurse in order to have a female blood donor. So out of the three, this is probably my favourite of them, quite frankly, which is mainly due to this having a more cohesive plot than the prior two. So obviously the first film felt really disjointed between its circus act stuff and the mad scientist element. They didn't really feel like they came together all that well. And then with the second film, that also struggled with the fact that it was reusing footage from the first film, and it was also being told in flashback form, which therefore did remove some of the tension. Whereas this doesn't have any of those issues, while also being rather energetic in its own right and having a better handle on the horror genre as a whole. Kruger and Hatton are also both good as the antagonists. The supporting cast is decent. The pacing is also on point. The opening act is really rather entertaining, as our uh, disfigured assistant, played by Rondo Hatton, ends up stealing the body of the ape woman and then ends up covering up what's happened by throwing off a funeral car off a cliff, and that explodes. So yeah, it's really really entertaining in that regard. It really does get you right into the whole film in a jiffy, quite frankly. It is overall an engaging effort. It doesn't outstay its welcome, and although there are no prior cast members who return to this, and only the Ape Woman as a character returns from before, there is still some solid connective tissue between this and the prior two efforts. So you've also got you not only got the Ape Woman herself, but you've also got Dr. Fletcher, who is referenced, who was in the previous two films, um, or at least no, the previous film. Sorry, he was in the previous film, and even though you don't see him, you do get a reference to him, and they actually do steal the files from his office, and Rondo Hatton kills him off screen. So yeah, there is a little bit of connective tissue in there. But yeah, even though it is my favourite of the three, it still only gets 3 out of 5 because there's not a great deal to this film in terms of characterization or thematic weight or anything like that. It's just a generally decent, entertaining horror film that is barely an hour long, which is the case for all the other two films in this trilogy. So yeah, there is Paula Dupree, the Ape Woman, as well, herself, and yeah, those are all the three films on this disc. And yeah, like the other films on this disc, it's in the aspect ratio 137:1, black and white, 2.0 DTS HD MA audio, and a 1080p high definition presentation. Looks and sounds perfectly good as well, just as much as well as the previous two. You've also got the English language soundtrack and English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. And this is the only one in this on this disc out of the films to have a trailer as well as a mini like kind of extra there. So yeah, like I said, probably my favourite of the three. It's just got less issues with its narrative structure or its plot, and yeah, it's just overall a generally entertaining film. While I think Rondo Hatton is a really rather good villain, and Otto Kruger is a decent does a decent effort as far as the mad scientist goes as well. So yeah, we won't be looking at any films on the next disc, which is subtitled uh, Mutant Madness Part 1, and that's purely because they are both Man Made Monster and Monster on the Campus, which we had in this Eureka release, as you can see. And yeah, we'll also won't be looking at the Monolith Monsters, which is also part of that release, and that is on the, I think that's on the second to last disc, or the last disc itself. Yeah, that's on the last disc, which is Freaks from Another World Part 2. But we will be diving into Mutant Madness Part 2 with The Incredible Shrinking Man. We'll be skipping over Tarantula, as I did review that a few years ago now as part of a 101 Films Blu-ray release. But we will be looking at The Incredible Shrinking Man. Yes, I already have it on, you know, an older Arrow video release, but I think it's still one that is well worth looking at, and I haven't reviewed it before on this channel either. So, yeah, we will be looking at that. And then on the disc after that, we have The Land Unknown, which I don't believe I've reviewed. That's part of Freaks from Another World Part 1, although I do believe I have reviewed The Mole People. So, yeah, we've only really got 3 more left on this collection to look at. The Incredible Shrinking Man, The Land Unknown, and The Deadly Mantis, which I've never owned on Blu-ray before, and only ever had it on an older DVD. So yeah, looking forward to revisiting that on this Blu-ray collection. But nonetheless, if you have seen The Jungle Captive before, let's hear your thoughts on it. I'd also like to know whether or not which film out of the trilogy, the Ape Woman trilogy, is your favourite. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.